Welcome, everybody. It's episode 3 of Carida Cast. I'm Mike Hinton, TK5351.
And I'm Colin Durborough, TK97670.
And it's February 22nd.
Something like that.
When we're recording this, so we're a little earlier than the first one. And so we're going to talk about upcoming news. We have some CRLs. I don't think we have any. Do we have any other really pressing news?
This is kind of a light month.
Right. So, yeah, it's winter, so there's not that many troops. But we'll just jump right into the news. Did you see the Han Solo trailer?
I did see the Han Solo trailer. And I'll tell you, like last episode I was saying I was kind of on the fence. Now I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm over the fence on that.
I'll give you my main reasoning. Based on the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a lot of Imperial fan service.
Yes.
A lot of epic shots. The Star Destroyer coming in through whatever circular tube of clouds and lightning that is. Not 100% sure, but it looks really cool. So now I'm on board.
I like that. Well, I like that. I like the race car. It reminded me of a 65 Ford Falcon.
Yeah.
That one came around the corner.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then the guy with the black and silver helmet. Whatever that guy is. I want pictures of him.
New trooper look, yeah.
No, the villain dude. The tribal guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The tribal guy. I like that helmet. I want that helmet. I don't care about the costume. I just want that helmet.
Just the helmet.
I want that helmet. But yeah, the music sounds good. Yeah, I knew I was going to go and I knew I was going to like it, but it's not that far away.
Yeah, I know it's a lot closer than
beginning of May, right? end of May, Memorial Day weekend, end of May. So, and we have troops. So for those that are listening, we are going to be at a bunch of the movie theaters. I think we're waiting to hear from Penn Cinema. I don't think there's on Penn's on our things, but all the movie theaters we did for The Last Jedi, we will be there. So That's good. So that's the Han trailer, which looks really good. Yeah. And there's at least one new TK I saw.
Yeah.
So
it looks like I've seen some of the pictures I've seen of like zooming in on the toys, they're already releasing like Hasbro toys for them.
Oh, okay.
Already. That's how they're building the CRLs. It's based on
the toys.
But it looks like it's almost a combination of it's like a hodgepodge of the Rogue One tank trooper, the shore trooper, and a stormtrooper like mashed into one character.
Oh, the guy with the coat. He had like a fur-lined coat.
Well, there was that guy, like big metal boots or something. Right. But there was another one, the dude who's riding on the speeder. That's a different one. He's got like a black and white paint scheme.
Right, he gets thrown off of it.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Yeah, so that should be some really good costumes for that. I'm excited now. I'm printing some Han Solo blasters to get ready for it. So
don't carry those into the movie theater. Bad idea.
I won't. But if I have I have a Han jacket. I could use that to squire in. I could squire in my Han jacket with Chewie. So that's that. And then was it 2 days ago?
2 days ago.
2 days ago was the beginning of the Rebels End. So it's like 6 episodes left, and we've seen 2 of them already.
Yes. I rather enjoyed them. I mean, obviously, we're not gonna. I'm gonna try not to spoil anything.
Right, we don't want to spoil them, but if you haven't watched Rebels, watch it.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. It's getting real heated and dramatic, and it's a really as we approach the end of the series, I think it's a really really good way that they're getting to the end of Rebels.
And I'm biased because I have Sabine, but
yeah,
Zoe's a Sabine, but. Yeah, if you're curious and you haven't watched it, watch it. I know there's CRLs now for the Rebels version, the cartoon version of the Biker Scout.
Biker Scout, yeah.
And there's one for the TK. I'm not a big fan of the TK armor, but the Biker Scout armor looks really cool.
Yeah,
the TK, the middle of it reminds me of the clone armor, which everyone I know that has that's a pain.
Cartoony, so.
But yeah, the
Scout's cool. It looks almost streamlined. It's a lot thinner looking, tall.
Right.
And I think I like that kind of as just a slight alteration to the original Scout design. It kind of makes it look more actiony. I don't know.
And I like what they did with the Scout helmet. Like Ezra has that painted one. So that could be something to do in the future for me if I need one more project. So.
But I'll tell you, probably my favorite character that they've been exploring in Rebels has been Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yes, yes.
I love him.
Well, and they brought him back, so all the people that like the EU, they brought him back, which, you know, the EU, I don't know if we talked about it on the show here, but...
The difference between the Legends versus what's canon.
Right. But, I mean, the EU people get angry because all the stuff is Legends, but if they were... I think they don't remember, in George Lucas's mind, nothing was canon.
Yeah.
So none of the books were canon, just what was on film and TV. So at least they get Legends, and it seems like they're pulling from that. So a comic book came out last week, the Thrawn comic.
It's the comic iteration of Timothy Zahn's most recent Thrawn novel, which I actually just recently read. Last month I read it.
Was it good?
Really good. It was like Star Wars meets Sherlock Holmes, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. See, does it help to make Thrawn even better in the cartoon?
Oh, yeah. Because it explored his rise through the Empire, like literally when he started, when like the Empire first found him, to him basically going through every rank, every promotion, and all of his epic battles and general awesomeness that led to him growing to be such a high-ranking officer, even though, which I hadn't learned, or I didn't know about the Empire until learning about Thrawn as a character. Yeah, apparently the Empire is like generally pretty racist when it comes to their
no, because they've always talked about that, and that was, they were modeled after like a racist, right? They didn't really have a much diversity. So when you watch Star Wars, the first one, the diversity is in everyone but the Empire, probably just because they couldn't fit people in the uniform.
Yeah,
but that's really good. I mean, I think the Thrawn. I think Zoe has that book. I don't know if she's finished it or not, but
so you haven't had a chance to.
No, I'm so far behind in the books. I'm still working on an unofficial autobiography of George Lucas. I just got up to when he finished filming American Graffiti. So, I'll
tell you, the other cool thing about another character explored in the Thrawn novel that's in Rebels is actually Governor Price.
Oh, right.
Believe it or not. So it's kind of weird in Rebels. They're kind of working together on Lothal. In the novel, you actually kind of get a lot of reasoning for why Lothal's so important.
Oh, that's good.
And why they've been working together, how they actually kind of both rose to power at the same time and helped each other out to get to where they are. So now you see them kind of side by side, but also at each other's throats. And it kind of adds a little bit of tension when you know that in the past they were actually kind of on good terms. So,
well, I have noticed in Rebels, it seems like Thrawn. So I don't want to say anything about the newest episode, but in the previous episodes, he rules with his underlings with like such a strong hand that they make bad decisions trying to one up him. Like when they had that one planet surrounded. And that he wanted to move the ship, but he didn't want to move the ship. I forget what it was. The guy did it because he thought he was going to save the day and like circumvent Thrawn. So it seems like that's kind of cool because you that's how the big mistakes happen. So then the heroes can get away, and it makes the story a better story. But there's CRLs I know for Thrawn now, some good ones. I saw Price has one. We met a really good Price down at Celebration.
Oh, yeah?
She had the hair and the contacts for that weirdly blue eyes like she had. So. I think I probably have a picture somewhere. I have to dig it up, put it on our show notes or something.
Was it just the officer uniform, or her like?
It was her office. It was.
She has her like field armor sort of.
Yeah, no. This was because if this was Celebration, so she must have just been introduced too, because she wasn't that big of a character.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, this would have been last spring. So. But we'll have to talk more and spoil. I guess the next time we record, Rebels will be done.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Because there's 4 more episodes, technically only 2, because they're doubling them up.
Oh, good, because I'm impatient when it comes to
things
like that.
Yeah, so they're gonna. Well, I'm excited for the end, but I'm also excited for what's coming next. I want to hear what.
True. Yeah.
As long as it's, I'd like to see like a Mandalorian, or something. Anything with armor.
Armor's always the best.
Yes.
Though, of course, if it's animated, they're going to go out of their way to make it as difficult for costumers to make as possible.
I got 2 more Sabines to work on. Like I said, there's lines in that armor that make no sense. So, yes.
But I'll tell you, definitely, suggesting to our listeners, would definitely read those books if you're interested in watching Rebels. Thrawn is a good one for these most like the last 2 seasons to give some backstory to that. But another good one that I read just before reading Thrawn is called Rebel Rising.
Oh yeah, I think that one. I have that somewhere floating around.
Yeah, that's the following Jyn, Jyn Erso between the time where she hid in the bunker
Until we met her.
Until she was in the prison.
Yeah, that one I have. I think we have, because Zoe gets most of them. We have most of them. I don't think I have any around here.
And when I got them, I didn't get those books to because I knew they would be connected. I thought they would be following the story separately. But they explored a lot of the same themes, but from different sides. So the general, that time period, it's all about, the whole empire is about building the Death Star. All the planets that are being taken over, it's about building the Death Star, mining, all the boring stuff that we complain about in the prequels, like trade agreements and stuff like that. But you learn that all of it is connected to just building the Death Star.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
But at no point do they come out and say it. They're like, oh, there's this big thing that we're building. We need all the mines. And
have you ever seen the Lost Missions of the Clone Wars when they went and found the big kyber crystals and stuff? So yeah, that's really good. It's because that's my favorite time is if they're going to do anything, just because of all the Imperial armor and stuff like that, is probably between right around Rogue One all the way up to probably right before Return of the Jedi. Like that time when there's just such, variety of costumes and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
So. Well, there, we got a book review in there, too. We got two book reviews. Two book reviews. And I got to read a book. I got to finish my George Lucas book.
They're not terribly long. Rebel Rising was... I don't know. I liked Thrawn a little bit more, but that's just because I like Thrawn as a character better than... Sorry, Jyn fans, but, Thrawn...
Right. he's been around longer. I mean, if you look back from when Timothy created him.
I do want to... Now that I know more about him, I want to go back and find those books that he's in, learn more about the context of his character that way. And now that I've seen where he's come from, now that I've seen his rise, I like to see some of his other accomplishments.
I am curious what you like better, because I hear both ways. Like some people say, after reading the new stuff, the old one's not as it doesn't play well with what we think of Star Wars.
Oh, you think so?
That's what some people say. Some people say the older one is really good. But I know a lot of those early Star Wars books that I tried when they first came out, they felt more like A-Team, the TV show A-Team. Here's our heroes, and everything's gonna happen, but it ends basically with them driving off in the van.
Gotcha.
And so I never read the Thrawn books. The only thing I remember, I think I had one of books on cassette when I drove truck, and I think I might have had one of those or something. But he had some kind of lizard that made force-free zones around him. And I think that's the thing.
I don't know about.
That's the thing I think people complain about. It was kind of like a weird... There's just some weird aliens and stuff, but everyone... Thrawn seems to be one of those people, everyone knows. Even the people that say they don't like him, they know a lot about him, so it's hard to, And he's blue. I always envy those people that are willing to paint themselves a color.
Yeah, that's the thing keeping me from even wanting to attempt that costume. I hate doing costumes that involve any sort of body paint.
Unless you can just stand somewhere and have blue lights shown on you.
All the time.
Just here, I can only stand right here and be Thrawn.
I could do the red contacts, no problem, but
Yeah, the problem with a lot of those, though, is it always seems like the eyes, not the eyes, it always seems like you almost should have to do some kind of eye makeup to get the shading right. Like when people do themselves all blue, and then they don't put any eye makeup to give it definition. I don't know anything about it. It sounds like I wear makeup, but it just seems like the whole solid blue face doesn't look right.
He has very, very specific dark jaw lines coming in underneath the eyes that accentuate, and it's not just red irises. His whole eyes are red and glowing. Right. They actually glow in the book too. Yeah. So, and the show kind of. Yeah, that's weird.
He has some weird eyes in the show. But yeah, he's a good villain. I mean, I'm glad they brought him in. I often think, I'm glad that they used Vader as sparingly as they did, because I was worried that Vader was going to be like the Dick Dastardly of just almost catch them
showing up at the end of every mission or something like, I'll get you crazy kids.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they used him sparingly.
And your little Lasat too, or your little droid too.
Your little droid too. Yeah, I was gonna say I had something to say about Chopper, but that was spoiled for the show, so I don't want to spoil anything. All right, so let's see. 501st news. We just finished our election, so we don't have all the names yet because I don't think I know all the higher ups for the 501st yet.
Yeah.
So
they haven't sent out a full.
No, and so I figure we'll wait till the next one because it doesn't officially happen until March 1st.
Yeah.
To all the, but we had a new Carida too, and so we'll put all that in the next show. Put all the people that were, but we did forget to mention. We started to remind people this is an unofficial. Yeah. This is just two members of Carida, two 501st members doing a podcast.
We did mean to mention that at the beginning. We're not endorsed by Carida. We're not endorsed by Lucasfilm or Disney. Nope. Just we're two fans who happen to be members of the organization who love Star Wars, and we want to talk about Star Wars and share our love for Star Wars.
And we're not affiliated, like our opinions right now are just our own. So it's not affiliated with any staff members in Carida. If we answer questions, we do our own research or we try to ask the people. So if we had questions, we put them out there. So ours, it's not an official statement. So, don't try this at home if you hear what, check with someone, but we try to get the best answers we can and help people out. So we meant to mention that in the beginning, but if you're still listening, if you quit before then we didn't really say anything that was going to affect anyone anyway.
Yeah, we're on episode 3.
Yeah, right. So anyway, so we had an election. So next time we'll have a list of all that. I know like Delaware had an election, but I don't think there was anyone running. I think they all just were happy, and I think Starkiller Base had all this every year. So those are our members. Every year we elect a CO, which is abbreviation for commanding officer, mainly because we're playing like we're in the military. So we have military names just to keep it easy. For someone like me who was never in the military, I had to learn what all those things meant. I was like, okay, but it helps. It helps. They have to do a lot of work, and so charity. It's all charity. Just to go back to 501st and Garrison Carida, it's all charity. So they put in a lot of hours. Especially, we've said it on a couple shows. The other shows, the people that book the groups do tons of work. They're getting phone calls all the time. So we elect one every February, and then they start in March. So once a year, and they just follow the rules and keep everything running. And we've had good COs in ours.
Oh yeah.
And so, I did look at when I was looking at the website though. There are 12,314 active members in 501st.
And that's all around the world, not just America, not just North America. That's everywhere that there is a 501st presence.
Right. I think there's one on every continent, if I remember correctly, because I think there was some scientists that took their arm down to Antarctica one year.
Awesome.
They took pictures on the one Arctic shelf or something of them and their they didn't have snow troopers, they had TKs, but that was actually in I think it was one of the old Star Wars Insiders. It was in there.
Oh, good.
But I think we had members on every continent. We'll have to maybe do some numbers sometime. That would be neat to put up some numbers of all the different ones. And then there's 23,245 approved costumes, which to me seems low.
You think that's low? That sounds like a lot. If you think through all the movies and all the costumes that people have bothered to, and shows that people have bothered to put together, it doesn't seem like a lot to me because everybody's not making a costume for every background character.
No, but I mean that's just approved costumes to me.
Is that approved costumes that people?
Yeah.
I was misunderstanding that as
there's that many different costumes.
Costumes. No. Like that seems ridiculously high, but no.
But that seems low to me because how many guys do we know have more than 2 costumes? Like
almost everybody, with the exception of
me and you.
Yeah, there's 2 of us. All the other people we frequently troop with have at least 2.
Yeah, some have like 5 or 6. So that seems really low to me.
Well, I don't know. It's 23,000 as opposed to the 12,000 total active. That's assuming almost everybody has 2.
Right, but I mean, think about it. Everyone that has an officer has like 6 costumes. They have like the officer and the tie reserve.
I mean, I guess that's true.
I was just assuming it would be like average of like 3 or 4 per person, not just 2 per person. That's all. Because that's really less than 2 per person.
Maybe we're spoiled and we just know a lot. Happen to live in an area where a lot of people, a large concentration of people with multiple costumes.
That could be true. I think we have, if I remember correctly, we're at 150 some members of Carida right now.
That sounds about right. I haven't seen the numbers since the Star Killer split.
Yeah, after Star Killer, I think we're like at 150 some. We were over 200, I think, before.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good. We'll have to look the numbers, see what standings we are for next time too. So, we don't have any new approvals since last time.
No, and that's because of the election.
Yeah, the election. So normally it's just tradition, I guess. During January, they kind of hold off and make sure because, we'll get one seal. I think we're basically keeping most of the same people. There's some new people, but the GML is probably the most important one, and I think so they wait because that's the person who approves the costumes and stuff like that. So as far as I know, it's still Roddy.
As far as new though, we haven't had new members. I did see there is a new detachment. The first new detachment since 2006, I believe, was
right. So do you remember what it's for?
It's something underworld. It's the characters that are like the what's her name from Force Awakens with the crazy checker, like all full body checker thing. Right. They're like the seedy underworld characters of Star Wars.
A perfect timing. That's perfect timing for Han Solo.
Right. So like Saw's right hand man and whatever his name is with the crazy head thing.
Tubes. 2 tubes. That was 2 tubes and his brother.
And Sidon Athano, the redhead guy with the pointy.
Oh right, yes.
So like that sort of deal. They're not bounty hunters,
right?
But they're like your side story scum deal, I guess.
Okay, well that's good though. So that's a good detachment.
Scum in a good way, of course.
Right.
Well,
that's going to be a hard one to do CRLs because at least like with a TK, you can do generic stuff. Well, that's cool. Yeah, it's a 2006, so that's really good.
Oh, that's right. Another one under that one was like Hondo from Clone Wars.
Okay, and Rebels.
And that's right, and Rebels. Though the costume I saw was the Clone Wars version.
We met a Hondo from Clone Wars. No, he was from Rebels. I think we met him at Celebration. The girls got pictures. You saw Hondo. You had to get a picture.
Yeah, you gotta get.
That's how.
Hondo.
Yeah, so. That's good. That's a good detachment. I mean, that's gonna be a hard one to do. But I hear a phone ring. I got kids. So, and then, so that's really all the new news we have. We had the elections. So congratulations to the winner, which was Jamie. Congratulations to Dean for running, but then we don't really know all the other details.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get a full sort of press release deal.
Right, March 1st. Sure. Right. Yeah, because I don't want to say who's in and then they weren't in or something like that. And then upcoming events. So now it comes our busy season. So when I was looking at this list, I was like, wow, I remember when we used to get like a dozen events a year. So just between now and the end of March, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is pretty good, right? This one is in Delaware. You see 9, but I put that one. That was. So we have the Wissahickon Public Library on the 25th. It's from 1 to 3, but check our website, not our website, check Garrison Carida's website for details on that. On the 27th, which is, I think it's a weeknight, there's the Downingtown Honor Band concert from 6 to 9.
I think that's a Wednesday.
Is it a Wednesday? I have to look and 27th. That's next week, so I have to see if I can make that. That's pretty close to here. If I can make weeknights, it's pretty good. But
then the 10th, there are 2 troops on March 10th. The first being, one of them being at both of our alumni, Millersville University.
Yep.
The Odyssey of the Mind competition, which is the kids doing science or something. Right.
Zoe's doing something like that, so I got to see when she's competing because I don't know if I don't want to be in costume when she's competing. Are you trooping that one?
I'm trooping that one.
Yeah, so I probably will be. I just got to find out when she's competing. We're there from 4:30 to 6:30, which seems late to me. I think we were there earlier last time.
Yeah, we were definitely there earlier last time. Though I think, if I remember correctly, last time we got there earlier, did everything super fast, and then didn't have anything to do for the last hour and a half that we were slated to be there.
Right. And then at Wilkesboro the same day, there's the Scranton Penguins Star Wars night from 6 to 9. Is that hockey?
Penguins is... Yeah, that's hockey. Okay. But also I'm confusing them with the other...
Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins.
So, and then there's
league, I guess.
Joshua's Bingo for a Cure on March 18th from 10:30 to 1:30.
And that same day is the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Harrisburg from 12 to 4.
And then the 24th is the Phillies Comics and Cosplay Day from 11 to 7.
And on the 30th is a youth lacrosse fundraiser in Oxford from 6 to 9 p.m.
Yeah, it's not far from here at all. It's like an hour. Not even an hour. It's like a half hour. I might do that. That's pretty close. And then on the 11th, I'm doing the UD Dance Marathon. It's similar to Thon that we do for Penn State, but it's like tinier.
Gotcha.
So that's from 10 to 12. But if you go on Garrison Carida, just Google Garrison Carida, go 500 first. It'll lead you to that. You can pull up a calendar and see all the events. So if you live in the Eastern PA side and you want to see us, if you live in another area, just go to 500 first, and you can figure out what Garrison's in yours. But if it's Western PA, it's Star Killer Base. If you're in West Virginia, it's Corellia. Maryland is Old Line Garrison. I'm going to learn all these.
Yep.
Delaware is First State Garrison.
New Jersey is Northeast Remnant.
Northeast Remnant is New Jersey. That's one I always forget. Empire City Garrison is New York City. What's New York State?
Oh, I know. I thought that was the state. Then if that's
they have a city and a state. They have two garrisons. So there's one for New York City, which I will have to find out, and we'll have to get. I always forget them as being our neighbors. I always just think of Empire City. Mm-hmm. But New York State is another one that has. So if you live in the area,
New York State,
right? And or if you're listening, we had listeners in Japan.
Yeah, we had.
So if you're listening in Japan, I'll have to learn what their garrison is, but we'll.
They're officially our neighbors now.
Yeah, you're our neighbors. So we did mistakenly think we had listeners in England or something, or Wales.
We thought it was North Wales, but turns out it was North Wales, Pennsylvania.
But I think hey, we're new to this.
Oh, we still have Norway. We
knew of someone in Norway. So if wherever you're listening to us, drop us another line. We didn't get any messages this month, so I don't know if they didn't like us after number 2, or they were just a busy month. But if you drop us a line where you're from, if you want us to help you get in contact with your local garrison, we would love to get in there. If there's someone you want to hear, like if there's a more of a costume you want to hear more about, we have enough experts in our garrison. We could probably find someone that would know more about it than we do. We're TKs, and in some ways it's like the easiest one because there's not much to know about. Like once you get it together, you don't have to.
There's a lot of resources for them too. So a lot of people to reach out to.
Right, so, but we can find that out. So, anyway, that's our events coming up. Like I said, I'm going to be at the UD Dance Marathon. There's actually a con in Middletown, Delaware Saturday, Galactic Con, which I'm debating on going to last minute. Mm-hmm. It just depends on weather and what the kids have to do.
Yeah. I will be at the St. Patrick's Day Parade, or in the parade, on the 18th.
Oh, really? Okay.
Harrisburg. That'll be fun, because that's when the guys and I get together. We do kilted...
Oh, the kilted troopers. Okay, all right. Troopers. So look for the kilted troopers.
No CRL for that one.
No. Well, that might be someday. Might be someday. All right, so we pulled 2 mission reports, and I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing, but we had 2 really good missions in the month of. I mean, we had tons of good troops, so I'm not trying to say anything bad about any of the other ones. I didn't troop any this month between school and we had the flu ran rampant through our house. So, but there was the on the 8th there was a Pine Grove Chase fundraiser. It was for a young child that had cancer. It was a weeknight, but they had over 20 troopers show up. So I'm going to read the mission report. Hopefully I don't butcher it too bad. This is a mission report posted up by one of our members. It says, "This was a tough and very rewarding troop. This was a great combination of troopers from all over Carida territory in the 1st State Garrison. We arrived and had no problems parking and getting our 2 classrooms to change. We had water and a nice amount of room to change. We suited up and prepared to meet Chase, who arrived at 7. He was very happy to see us. He was wheelchair bound and very swollen because of treatment for his cancer. His parents were very happy for what we did for him. We did a nice group photo with him and led to the gym where we were greeted by Star Wars music and hundreds of the communities to fundraise for Chase. We posted up tons of photos and played some games set up around the gym. We then proceeded to have each of the characters give Chase a personalized toy. We ended with Vader giving Chase a huge Vader figure, almost the size of Chase. We did a group photo for all the kids and characters, Chase's family, etc. Then we suited down. Thanks to all the travel the distance to make a very special day for a great boy and his family. His parents thanks us very much, and the teachers and staff couldn't be nicer." And then it just says if you have pictures, post them up. So that was our mission report. That was actually done. I think that was put together by Marty too. It was like a last minute. Like a last minute thing. So to have 20 people show up on a weeknight is really good. So. And then the next big one was Penn State College Thon. Did you do that? You didn't do that one?
I didn't do Thon.
That's probably one of our bigger ones too, and they raised tons of money. This is a really long report, but I think
they raised over 10 million this year.
The Thon, yeah. So it's just nice to be a part of that. And it just says we've been doing it since 2011, and we do a dance marathon. This year we were invited to Thon from 1:35 to 2:35 p.m. time slot, and we were given 35 floor passes that were between Garrison Creed and Ghost Base and Starkiller Garrison. So it was us, it was the Rebel Legion sister group that's Pennsylvania, and then Starkiller Base, which is Western PA. So it was a good troop. It looks like everyone had a good time. If you are a trooper, go into the mission reports. You can see a list of everyone that showed up. I would recommend for any trooper that's just looking for one that they want to make their own, that would be a good one if you live in the middle of the state and you're just looking for something to, I know for certain ones, like I like the Millersville troop. I like the parade. I enjoy walking through the college town where I did. I know it's not as charity based as the others, but they do donate money in our name, I think, or something. Excuse me. So if you find one that you like, that just
one that you're able to frequent. I try to do as many of the ones that frequent in Hershey as possible. I don't know if I'll be able to do the Children's Miracle Network party this year, though. My work schedule's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I think that's weird. That's our schedule's a little weird around that one too. But that's a good one. Yeah, but you find certain ones just are comfortable and are fun to do.
Or that involves wearing a kilt with your armor.
Or a kilt with your armor. I don't think you ever see me in a kilt. But, I did a video with Zoe trying to put on armor, so she made me put it on poorly. So
I remember that one.
That was painful. I almost broke my armor. 10-year armor. I almost cracked a piece trying to pretend not to be able to put my armor on right, and I almost broke the one shoulder piece because I was acting like I couldn't get on. I would have been very angry if that would have happened. It would have made me have to get my a Novus cape done, that's for sure. So we were going to do, I don't think I have any acronyms that I can think of. I did see just before we started that they did some changes to our squiring rules or something. They updated our squiring rules to maybe help squires. So maybe next time, or if anyone's listening to this that's in the group, maybe take a peek at the squiring rules for Garrison Carida just to see what they changed.
I'll have to do that.
Someone posted something up. So if you want to check that out, if you squire a lot, I've only squired a few times. It's hard. It's really hard. And for those in case you're just joining or you forget what squiring is, that's the people that help us when we're in costume.
Out of costume. Squires are out of costume, or handlers or whatever they're referred to.
Right.
Out of costume, guiding the costume members around, keeping an eye on armor parts.
Right.
Answering questions for guests and
they let us stay in character.
Yes,
because we don't. I mean, sometimes we break character. I've probably done it more than they should. Someone will say, "What are you guys all about?" And I start talking. Which, if I stayed in character, I should say I work for Lord Vader, and I should. But Depending on the group, sometimes I break character. But yeah, they inform people and they help people. And the good squires know, they can tell when a TK's moving his arm the right way that maybe he needs something fixed. Or if you see a Vader reaching for his cape because his cape blew over his shoulder, you know. I think my wife knows more about the ins and outs of a Vader costume than most, because she's helped many. Because for the longest time, my wife was like the only squire, probably for the first 4 or 5 years. Not that many people squired. It was hard to get squires. And then the day before cell phones had good cameras on them, when I first started trooping. So you might do a really big troop, 3 people have cameras, that's it. And then as soon as cell phones came, then that changed. But the squire used to have to carry like a full camera and take all these pictures. I know the first Weird Al concert, I was carrying a camera and a video camera. The first time I did that, so that was different. But anyway, so for our CRLs, just as a quick, there's so many CRLs, and we're gonna probably have to get some experts on some of our shows. I know, like Craig Dunn. Was it Craig Dunn that asked about being on the show? Maybe.
I think that was Craig.
Craig did. Marty said he would love to come on the show. So we'll get some experts on costumes. Like I know Marty, if I remember correctly, Marty was the first Wookiee in the Legion, because he did the bounty hunter Chewbacca from Shadows of the Empire.
Okay.
I think he's like either the only or the first Wookiee in 501st. So
I did not know that. If that's true, I did not know that.
Yeah, so I it's something to do with that. I forget how it actually rolls in, but if we can get some experts. But we were thinking about the Vader helmets, because a lot of people think that all Vader helmets are the same. So I would say anyone that's listening, if you think a Vader helmet is the same,
spoiler alert, they're not.
Spoiler alert, not. There's four different Vader in costume. There's all kinds of Vaders, but there's five different Vaders. 5 different Vaders. I always forget about Rogue One. So there's New Hope, Empire,
Return of the
Jedi,
Revenge of the Sith,
and
Rogue One.
The one that's mainly the different than all the others is Revenge of the Sith. So I would say, if you're listening now, go to the CRL and look at the Revenge of the Sith one. That's like the cool thing about that one. It's all black, and it's perfectly symmetrical, and it's what you see when most of the time you see the posters of Darth Vader. If you see any of they came out with all the different material for Vader, with pictures of him for posters. Right after Revenge of the Sith, that was all that, and that's bigger eyes. I think Frank does that one, Frank Beto, which you probably trooped with before. Chris Rem, have you trooped with him yet?
I don't know. It's hard to remember all the Vaders.
Okay, but Chris Rem and then Marty are the 3 that I can think of that do that Vader. And they're usually the taller and the thinner guys that do that Vader, because that's how he looks.
Yeah.
And then the other Vader, which you didn't even know until I showed you.
Yeah, until just 30 minutes ago.
Right. So if you go into the CRLs, here's the thing that I thought was kind of neat. The other Vader, if you go down to the face mask for basic approval, it says the face mask is asymmetrical. So for any of you that don't know what that means, or just want me to say it, so it means it's not perfectly even. It's like the TK. The one eye is slightly bigger than the other.
Wonky on one way. Either one cheek curves more than the other. It depends on the armor maker, I guess.
Right. But the Vader, they're not. It's not perfectly symmetrical. And then the bigger thing is it's not black. It's painted with a checkered pattern, is that a checkered pattern or an inverse pattern?
It's not checkered so much as just alternating on each different surface of the face.
Yeah, one's black and one's gray. So pull out your Blu-rays, pull out your pictures of old Vader, and you'll notice that it's not all black. So, and he has red lenses. All of them have red lenses, but it's a degree of red depending on which one you have. So if you go to the New Hope one, now the only thing with New Hope is if you ever watch it on the old one, you could see all the fingerprints on the helmet. I don't know if they fixed that in the Blu-ray, but the old, when I got the hide...
I think they have, because I've seen some of the behind-the-scenes work on that, and some people, I think, have even, in comments on Facebook, have even complained how they changed it so that you couldn't see the fingerprints on the helmet.
Yeah, because I remember I bought it was called the letterbox at the time, VHS, back in 93.
Oh, VHS was still my time, don't worry.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you could buy this big blue box with the letterbox, so it was the wide... Yeah. And I remember watching New Hope, and you could see the fingerprints because it was remastered, but they didn't do anything to it. It was pre special edition, you know, stuff like that. So you could see all the fingerprints. But yeah, the face mask. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So for New Hope, it says asymmetrical lenses, slightly bubbled and tinted amber or dark gray. Eyes are not visible through the lenses.
For basic approval.
That's for basic. So
but if you go any level higher, they start requiring the lenses, the eyes be tinted amber with a reddish hue. It specifically says
does
there.
it? And level 3 doesn't really say.
It doesn't reiterate that. I think it just assumes.
But I know you can't see I know that you're not supposed to be able to see your eyes through it. And again, the armor, I have a TK. I mean, I have a Vader bucket. And well, now that we're talking this, if you're going to be a Vader, you'd be an SL.
Yep, that is Sith Lord.
Yeah, you'd be a SL. So a Sith Lord. What did I do? I just lost it. Oh, here we go. You'd be a Sith Lord, and there's a lot of Sith Lords. To be honest.
A lot of them are. It looks like there are a lot of
Star Killers.
Extended universe.
Right.
Legends, excuse me.
Yeah, Legends now. Yeah, so alternating pattern, asymmetrical for the mask, again for this one, slightly bubbled. So it looks like it's basically the same. The mask is almost exactly the same as, you know what I should do is, maybe next I'll put a chart. I could put a chart on our webpage and show the difference. Like I'll put this in a chart. You can see the difference. But the lens is tinted amber. Now this says no reddish hue.
For which one was this?
Empire? This is for Empire.
No reddish hue for
That's
Empire.
But that says no reddish hue. So I couldn't go higher than that. I don't think I can go higher than, because that's an Empire bucket.
Are those? Do you have red lenses? I can't tell what.
They're reddish.
They're reddish.
Yeah, they're reddish.
Yeah, maybe you could hide it with the right photo. The right approval pictures, darken them up a little bit.
The wearer's right side of his mask is higher than the left side.
Oh, that's specific. It looks like your left side's higher.
Yeah, that's weird. I just got to tilt my head.
And also reverse so that you're...
Yeah.
Obviously, listeners can't see us. We're both turning our heads
we're
in our chairs to look at the mask in the back over on the other side of the room here as we get quiet.
But yeah, the masks are pretty. I mean, they're pretty. It's pretty intricate for the mask. I mean, just the mask alone has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 bullet points, depending on which one between the 3 levels.
And that's not including the bucket around it. That's just the mask.
Right. Yeah. Just the dome itself is much different too. So I would recommend, if you're interested in Vader, or even if you just like Darth Vader, if you have no desire to do a costume, I would really look at the CRLs for just his helmet. Just the helmet alone, because if you start looking at the whole thing, it
just to ruin the movies for you, so that I will always notice that gray and black checkered pattern. Now, every time I see it, I'm gonna notice it, and it's gonna anger me because you broke that wall for me. I'm
totally sorry.
But I love it. I absolutely love it, and I had no idea. But
yeah, that's. I mean, again, I can't tell the difference between the first 3 trilogies, but when I see the Revenge of the Sith Vader, I know it's Revenge of the Sith right away. Yeah. Just that one's easier to see.
The one I know is a New Hope one, but it's never because of the helmet. It's because of the cape being over top of the chest plate armor instead of underneath it, like that, like the.
That's Empire, right? Yeah, it's because some of it. I would imagine New Hope and Empire, like that. It's mainly more how you wear it.
Yeah. So Dean Dean's is like that one. Is
Right.
A New Hope.
Well, that's my helmet's made by the same one that made Dean's. So.
There we go, turning around to look at it again.
Yes.
It's a nice,
still got to put
a nice helmet.
I got to put a little strapping on. I'm petrified to cut it.
And you're only ever going to troop with the 4-foot tall stormtroopers, right?
Well,
or you got to get yourself
I have
platformed.
lifts. I have. Well, Marty has like 4-inch lifts inside the boots, so it doesn't look like because you're not allowed to have lifts on the outside.
Yeah.
So I have lifts in the boots to bring me up. I would never troop. I only got it because there for a while we had a shortage of Vaders. So it'd just be like me and the girls would show up to a library event. So I thought, well, look, if it's just me and the girls, I could do a Vader. You know what I mean? Because it's relative. There's no, if there's like Craig Staley being a stormtrooper, I'm not going to be a Vader because I'm already too short when he's a stormtrooper. Because I'm 5'10" if I'm lucky. But I can get up to, with the lifts, I can get myself up to like 6'2" or 6'3". And then the helmet adds about 4 inches or more. So I just...
And then if you carry yourself with your chest puffed out, the forced choke hand all the time,
right.
You always get that extra maybe inch of bravado.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I never really wanted to do a Vader, but when I actually, it was the Weird Al concert and I saw Jimmy's, I was like, where'd you get that helmet? He said, I made it. So then I was like, oh, I got to get one of those. So I went to Missy. I said, yeah, go ahead, get out. When your wife says, go ahead and buy a Darth Vader helmet, you're like...
All right, no turning back now.
Yeah,
Go.
Time's up. No take backs. So...
Where did our...
Where'd our notes go? There we go.
Are.
Yeah, look, so there we go. So I don't know if we have a topic other than just we're getting ready for a busy spring with Han Solo coming out. So I would recommend anyone that's thinking of joining, this would be a good time to join, because everyone's kind of gearing for that.
But also don't worry about it because we still got years and years to come of Star Wars movies.
Correct.
So Star Wars will always be relevant.
Right.
Never, ever worry about that.
Right. Oh, right. But I mean, I still can't stress enough. If you're on the fence of joining, get a hold of us, get an advisor. All you have to do is do progress every month. And sometimes progress just means, hey, I researched this. This is what I'm waiting for. It doesn't. Yep. You're not required to like, okay, you sign up. You have to have a costume done in a month. Some people take years. Some people take, my Sand Trooper's still in year 9. Year 9 until I get the Sand Trooper done.
Poor Sandy.
Huh? I know. So, if you're thinking about joining, and then I would say members that are listening, I still would recommend try trooping outside of where you've trooped before. That's my goal. I want to try to troop in West Virginia one of these days. Mm-hmm. I want to troop down in some more Maryland stuff, Starkiller Base.
It's hard though, depending on your work schedule. I know definitely. My work schedule makes it really hard for me to travel past like an hour and a half.
Right, but you're going to Steel City. I'm not saying do it every month. I'm saying set yourself a goal.
Yeah.
So and if you're curious about us, just go to one of our events and meet our guys. We're not as scary as we seem. And the guys will help you.
Absolutely.
And we're not saying that as official. We're saying that as two members.
We're saying that as we personally would help you.
Yeah.
Therefore, we can assume that others like us would also help you.
Yes. No, right. I mean, we're going to be at like Free Comic Book Day in Lancaster. There's going to be a bunch of us there. That's May.
I was going to say, do we have a date for that one?
It's the first Saturday of May. We have a whole bunch. Because my thing from wherever, I've always said we should try as a Garrison to find out how many comic book stores are in our area and try to have one trooper at every comic book store at Free Comic Book Day. And that might mean like the one we have to come at 10 in the morning and then we drive and almost make it like an event. Like just trip. Like how many people we just to get the good word out. Because most of those Free Comic Book Days, they usually give money back to like literacy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
make a real big deal out of it. Get somebody with a pickup truck to just tote everybody with their armor still on to the next comic book store.
That's funny. I did a parade with Old Line 4th of July one year, and so it was a long parade, and then we had to go back to our stuff, and they had a pickup truck, so everyone climbed in. Well, they were like really thin guys. So if you're really thin, you can like roll around in your armor. Well, I'm not that thin, so I had to ride in his he had a closed-in trailer for his R2. So he bolted his R2 in the middle, and then I had to ride in his completely closed in, holding on to the one rail, and he was petrified. He's like, "You sure?" I'm like, I can't sit. I'm sorry. I can't even get in that truck, and I'm always fearful, like, I don't like taking my stuff off, like, in a weird place that I might sit something down. Like, when I take it off, I want it near my tote, so everything can go right back in my tote. Because you lose a forearm, what do you do?
I remember when I trooped with Old Sarge, before he told me a story about back in the day when they first started, where they would do that and just like drive on the highway in the backs of their pickup trucks. They'd stop traffic or get pulled over or something. Just a bunch of stormtroopers in the back of the truck. We could bring that back.
There's a picture. I got to get a hold of him, Tim. I've said this before. There's a picture of all of us in the subway in Philly, coming back from the Mummers Parade, because we were too cold to suit down or anything, so we all jumped in a subway car, and they let us in. We didn't, because none of us had money. And Old Sarge went to the dude at the window. I don't know what he told him, and they let us all in the subway, and so we rode it up, So anyway, so that's all we have for today. So if you like us, check us out on CaridaCast.com, Facebook page, Carida Cast. You can email Colin at CaridaCast, 1 L in Colin, or Mike at CaridaCast.com. Please email us, have questions. We don't have any questions or anything like that. So,
and yeah, if you have questions, we have the forums. The forum, you can submit a question through Facebook.
Yeah, and if you want to be a guest, if you want something to say, if you want us to, anything we want to try or do, we're new to this too, so we just want to make it fun. So, may the force be with you.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yep. See you guys later. See you in a month.